Hello, how are you doing? My name is Otto and welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a straightforward, non-sponsored video where I want to compare these two gimbals, the DJI OM6, a fantastic gimbal that I like to use most of the time, and this one is the Hohem iSteady M6, which is a new gimbal that just came out a few days ago, and it has some amazing features that I did talk about in my video review a few days ago. The OM6 is a lightweight gimbal and it is very compact, especially when you fold this gimbal down, and that makes it easier to carry around. It has a weight of 410 grams, and that includes the gimbal, the clamp, and the tripod. The Hohem iSteady M6 is not so easy to carry around because you can't really fold this gimbal down. And it is also heavier at 650 grams, but this gimbal will support heavier smartphones up to 400 grams. I like the build quality on these two gimbals. I think that both of them have a very attractive design, but Hohem did an amazing job with their new gimbal, and I really like the way it looks and the way it feels in the hand. The M6 has this traditional design that has a few advantages. For example, it allows the gimbal to tilt up or down with a bigger range of movement. The OM6 does have a more limited range of tilt, and this will limit some kind of movements. The OM6 has a built-in extension rod, and the iSteady M6 doesn't have one. The extension rod extends an extra 21.5 centimeters, and you can adjust the angle at the top just like this. Now, do you really need something like this? I don't use this too much, but I can say that this is great to use if you need some extra height, although the stabilization can suffer a little bit. Nevertheless, it can be useful for vlogging style shots, for group shots, or if you need to show more background when framing yourself for a picture or a video. There is a big difference in battery life as well. The OM6 will run for almost 7 hours, and the battery on the iSteady M6 will run for about 16 hours. The M6 has another advantage because it can be used as a power bank to charge your smartphone with a USB-C cable, and you cannot do this with the OM6. The iSteady M6 has this fill light, but the main selling point is this tracking sensor that is next to the light. The fill light is magnetic, you place it like this, and you can also turn it around, and it works in landscape and portrait mode as well. The light is dimmable, and it is bright enough for situations where you might need some extra light, and you can change the color temperature from 2700 to 6500 Kelvin. And this fill light can also be used in RGB mode without the need to place any color filters. The tracking sensor is what I really like about this device. This will let you track a person, and it doesn't matter if you're using an iPhone or an Android device. The tracking is completely done by the gimbal and the sensor, and this means that you don't even need to use the Hohem app. And you can use it with your native camera app or any other app that you want to use to make videos or do live streaming, for example. To activate the sensor, all you have to do is this gesture, and this will start tracking you, and to make it stop tracking, you just have to show your palm like this. I have been testing the tracking for a few weeks, and all I'm going to say is that it is amazing. It moves in a very natural and smooth way, and it works even in low light situations. And because you can flip the sensor around, you can use it to track yourself, or you can track someone who is not using the gimbal as long as they activate the sensor. The OM6 also has active tracking, and it has been working very well, but you need the Mimo app to use this, and that means that you cannot use any other app. Setting up and balancing these gimbals is quite easy, but the OM6 has this magnetic clamp that you place on your phone. And I've been saying this for 2 years, this is one of my favorite features of this gimbal, since all you have to do is place the clamp in the middle of the phone, and when you need to use the gimbal, it's fast and easy to set up without having to balance it. Another improvement that the OM6 has is that once you unfold the gimbal, it will turn on automatically and it goes into a standby mode, just waiting for you to attach the smartphone, and as soon as you do that, it goes into the ready position. On the iSteady M6, you need to balance this arm before you turn on the gimbal, and you also need to select if you want to use your phone in horizontal or vertical position so you can manually adjust the clamp and then turn the gimbal on. The OM6 can quickly switch from horizontal to vertical position depending on your needs by pressing a single button on the gimbal. The OM6 now has a wheel on the side, and this will let you zoom in or zoom out, and you can also use it to focus manually. The M6 also has a wheel on the left side, and this will let you focus manually, control the fill light, and you can also use it to manually rotate the roll axis. The manual focus on both devices will work well on iPhone and Android devices, but you need to use your corresponding app. Both gimbals have a mode button to change the different gimbal modes, for example, pan follow, follow mode, and so on. And this is very convenient since you don't have to go inside their app to change this mode. Instead of having the zoom control on the left side, the zoom on the iSteady M6 is controlled by this lever, which in my opinion, it's easier to access. And you just need to push up or pull down to zoom in or to zoom out. Next to the wheel, we have the A and B buttons. This will make the gimbal move from point A to B or vice versa, and this can be done without the app, and you can set different durations. The OM6 has a screen that is easy to read that will show you the gimbal status, the battery life, and the current gimbal mode. But the iSteady M6, it just won the grand prize. It has the best OLED screen that any smartphone gimbal has. It is quite big for a smartphone gimbal. The design is very clean and easy to understand, and it will show you some basic information, so no more guessing around of what's going on the gimbal. For example, it will let you know if the wheel is set to focus or to rotate the roll axis. It will show you all the information about the fill light, the Bluetooth connection status. There's also a battery life indicator, and right in the middle, we have the current gimbal mode that we're using. Both gimbals do have these other modes available. Under slung mode works on both gimbals without issues, and this will let you take low-angle shots. The built-in extension on the OM6 does make it easier to use because it will help to get the smartphone closer to the ground without breaking your back. The sport mode is also available on both gimbals, and this will make the gimbal react faster to your movements when you need to capture fast-moving subjects. And Inception mode will make the smartphone spin around. The OM6 will spin for about 230 degrees, but at that point, the camera will see the arm of the gimbal, and you need to manually spin the camera by moving the joystick to the left or the right. On the iSteady M6, the smartphone will start spinning automatically, and it will only do it clockwise. But the big advantage is that it will do 360 degrees, so the camera will never see the arm or the motor, and it will keep spinning until you stop it. A very important topic is how stable are these two gimbals, and after using the iSteady M6 for weeks and the OM6 for months, it's easy for me to say that they do a great job making your videos more stable. These videos that you're seeing right now were made with these gimbals, and they have no post-stabilization applied to them. So, would you be able to guess which video clip belongs to which gimbal? It's actually really difficult to tell a difference when using one or the other, and I really have no complaints between these two gimbals. The app to use these gimbals are not too difficult to use. I like the DJI's interface a bit more than the one for the iSteady M6, but they are both very similar. You can select the camera mode that you want to use, like video mode, time lapses, and panorama shots, but DJI offers dolly zoom, and this is something that you don't get with the M6. On both apps, if you have an iPhone, you will be able to shoot up to 60 frames per second. And you can also select manual mode where you can change the ISO and the shutter speed. If you have an Android device, you will not be able to shoot at 60 frames per second on neither gimbal, but the iSteady M6 will let you select manual mode, and the DJI app does not have this feature. Now let's talk about the price. These two gimbals are not on the cheap end. The DJI OM6 retails at $159. The Hohem iSteady M6 is also $159, but at that price, you will not get the fill light that has the tracking sensor. So without the sensor, it is a great gimbal, but the sensor is what makes this a more special gimbal. And to get the complete package, you will have to pay $209. This price might change in the following weeks, really hope so. So make sure to double check using the product link that is going to be down below. Let me know in the comments down below if there is anything that you like about these two gimbals. It's time to say goodbye and get myself some delicious coffee. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Bye.